Could do it for. Yo, that's a thought. We're gonna let this play, but I got a thought already. I just want you niggas to know this is still the funkiest pod out.
We are 1,000% the funkiest podcast. So before we was the funkiest on the network, but I think we kind of the last one standing to a degree.
I listen to a lot of shit too. I feel like we got at least the funkiest. You niggas is richer, bigger, bigger platforms. A lot of other shit.
Y'all
but
don't pick better music selection than we do.
That's all because y'all monetizing. But whatever. We out here right now. Until then, look, hey, y'all gonna know some shit change when you cut this motherfucker on and it just start, or it's some do. Welcome to the pod. Y'all don't know some shit is adjusted in this motherfucker that day.
We are getting monetized.
Yeah, we like, oh, these niggas is different. You fucking right. That'll be the day.
Right. Wait a minute. Oh, my wages got garnished. Cut all this shit off.
Yep, that'll be the day when you get to hear some motherfucking
elevator music.
Yep,
welcome.
Welcome in.
Hi.
Yep.
Welcome to another episode of Justin Dope Ass Podcast.
That's the day when y'all niggas know these niggas is moving unusual. Like, yeah, you got it. All right.
Trying to save them pockets, baby.
But I don't know why in my head with that when that played and you said like they do it for the Lord. I'm like somehow like some 70s Jesus popped in my head, and in my mind I don't know how to make that, whether it be a show or film or just a skit, but 70s Jesus just in my mind is funny, like doing miracles but like in the 70s.
Like, well, no, because was disco was the 70s, not the 60s?
Yeah, disco was the 70s.
Disco was the 70s. What was in the 60s? Rock and roll was kind of the 60s and 50s.
Yeah, 60s was like
the golden oldies was like 40s and 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think 60s was like when we were in the like the funk era. Like we're coming out of that like the 50s, Temptations and them and shit. And like 60s is where I think we got like 60s is where we got like mad like a lot of good shit. Like a lot of like our
that's Curtis Mayfield and all them. That's the 60s.
Like that's when niggas was hitting, like that's when they was getting the drugs good. Like we not on heroin no more. Niggas are doing psychedelics and shit. And you getting real funky. Like it's getting wild out there.
That cocaine, baby.
Yeah. The 60s gave a lot of good shit.
Party drugs. What you doing?
James really brought us through all that shit too.
He did.
James was around for all that shit.
With the hardest working man in show business.
Yeah, for sure.
For a definite sure. But yeah, I can see.
Yeah, 60s where niggas got like the figure skater outfits and shit, and they was getting real expressive.
70s Jesus got on bell bottoms and a vest with no shirt under.
Yeah, because I feel like if he's like a part of the era, like what if Jesus comes back and just like sneaks in areas just to be like, is this time for me to really show up and show out? Nah. I think that would be a good film, like where Jesus just like consistently, like he comes back regularly, he just doesn't announce it because this is not the era he really, really want to like pop off the apocalypse. It's like,
like, nah, I kind of like this. I'm just going to chill and kick it a little bit. What y'all doing up in here?
Like, what if he changed his mind? Like, it's like, because our grandparents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, every year is the year he coming back. What if he just I'm dead ass on that. There was a nigga one time trying to like, we said something like this before, and he was trying to like go back and forth in the comments, and he was like a real theologian. I'm like, look, man, you're not gonna argue the book with me. I'm making this shit the fuck up. So like, you can keep your fucking interpretation. In my mind, it's like, what if they changed their mind up there and they didn't tell nobody down here? Or it's a motherfucker down here that wrote the edited version of the Bible. Y'all wouldn't believe it. They don't got no big publicists. That was like they were taken down by big Bible, big Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like they just like, these motherfuckers can't be up here telling
Christaceutical companies.
Yeah, Christaceutical companies, man. Like, and they took down the nigga who got the real story where Jesus came back 45 years ago and was like, we changed our minds.
Two things. One, what if he never left? He just changes form or whatever the case is. So he's not super noticeable. He just fits into the time. And if somebody recognizes him, great. But most likely they won't in order to be somebody that's deemed crazy. But like he's constantly here. or it. He, it, they, whatever he wants to identify as these days, because he has the option to do so. Lord, he just
was Vandal Savage.
yeah, he gets to change his imagery, or is like was the episode of Rick and Morty where they had to sing the Get Swifty song? It's like you need to come up with a song to make sure that we don't destroy your earth. So what if like Jesus is here and he's just watching? Like I'm just gonna sit here and watch for the next 2 years to see if something happens that lets me know if I should save all of them or let all of this shit just go to waste.
I can see that. I can see if you like, if we really like stretch the powers out. That's another thing. They don't really like expound on the power. Like when y'all have like the Christian-y movies, like it's always like little shit, like these little like, was it a miracle or was it not? As opposed to him being like, I can see the fucking multiverse. You think Marvel's fucking around? Nigga, listen to me and Pops. Wild shit. Multiversal shit. I didn't reshape this shit so many fucking times. Y'all would know, because like if somebody went back, like if he reshapes reality, like how would you know? You're in it. It's so much shit that y'all just don't be letting, like, get the movies off, yo. I was watching, I watched like Legion the other day, and I was like, this was like not as bad a concept. It just didn't do, I don't think it did like great at the box office.
Yeah, it didn't do great.
But
I thought Legion was a TV show. It was an FX TV show, wasn't it?
Legion, the TV show, is about like, that was the one with like
Professor X's kid.
Yeah, Professor X's kid. The one I'm talking about is the one where like it's, how did it go? I think it was Michael comes down. Yeah, it's actually Vision though. It's Paul Bettany. He comes down and like Michael, like, and he shuns him. He drops his wings as an angel, and you're fighting because angels in the movie. Angels want to get the apocalypse started. They're just over our shit.
Yeah,
and it's like they got till this time, and like this baby is like a second coming sort of thing for God to like change God's mind, and God's like over it. Everybody's over it with us in heaven. They're just like, man, wipe this shit the fuck out. And it's just him at this diner protecting this like baby that's supposed to be the savior of all fucking humanity.
It's a few movies like that.
Yeah.
Fucking the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't remember that name, but like,
oh yeah.
Satan came back and he had to do all this other stuff and keep him from impregnating the woman. Like that one. Was it Dogma or whatever the movie was? With,
Wait, I remember that movie with Arnold. I just remember that because that was one of those films my dad was like, you got to be tough now. I was like, oh, this shit's scary. He was like, fuck. I fucked around and got scared of the trailer. And he was like, not on my watch, motherfucker. We're going to go see this shit. That's not fucking. We fucked the whole movie. He's like, that's not real. That's CG fucking eye. We not finna sit here. And that was low-key one of my favorite movies for the fact that he was like, nah, bro, this is pussy shit.
It's a core memory for you?
Yeah, it's like Arnold jumping up and stabbing shit. I'm up there. He's like, it's cords. He's like, there's wires on that shit. We not finna be scared of no fucking movies. Fuck this guy. And he was dead serious about
rid
like
of all your innocence in an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, like Halloween, I'm like, I'm not Captain fucking Scary Spot, but he definitely was like, we're scared of shit, haunted house right now. And the only thing that makes that not like a, because before anybody goes like, that's traumatizing, he was actively himself in the haunted house. So it's like, roar, he's like, bitch. And it's like, well, he's like, I'll beat you the fuck up. He's like, that's not real. This is a fucking idiot in a mask. Touch some, I touch some on here. I beat, and it was dead ass. Like we went to like 300 houses, like over the course of a couple years, and like by number 3, I was like, please, I'm scared. I don't want you to get hurt. All right, boo. We got it. I promise you. No, like I get it. He's not real, but also I'm scared. So you do your job. Everybody, we got it. We got it. That just please don't fucking hurt this fucking teenager. Probably just trying to get a fucking seasonal job.
He's just trying to save up to get a bucket.
This motherfucker just want to buy Christmas gifts.
He just wants some shoes, something simple. But could that, I can see the pros and cons of it, but it made me think like, is that for some people, a coping skill of like intellectualization, rationalizing, like I'm going to keep myself from reacting to it emotionally, I'm going to make sure that I acknowledge the legitimacy of how real it is.
Yeah.
And that over time, because you tell yourself this, and that, it helps you to like not react to it anymore.
I think that's for sure what that is. I think that's even like, in moments where I think we do that with kids. Like if you're at said event or, you know, something regular where a kid gets scared and it's like pull mask off. This is a person. Or like, you know, if you're being, you know, you playing with kids during some type of holiday shit and kids might get scared or whatever the fuck it is because they're kids and they don't know what the fuck this is. And you start, hey, it's me. Like logistically, this is not a real thing. This is a rubber mask. Touch it. Like none of this shit makes sense. Like it's not a real thing, as to kind of promote that idea that, oh no, let's put some rationality to this shit, which, you know, leads to when motherfuckers have like, these out of body experiences, like whatever. Like I don't got no rationality to it. I'm a really rational motherfucker, and this shit don't make sense. I now believe, or I'm now into whatever, or I'm pushing back on it, or you know, it works pros and cons because then you got everybody who like needs a very rational explanation of everything. Otherwise, it doesn't exist, and that's how you get, you know, atheists or whatever. I don't know.
So, what approach would you take with your chillings?
I think I would probably a version of that. Like as we get older and as you're able to conceptualize, like I'm not finna have you like a newborn. Look at this goddamn motherfucking chainsaw massacre motherfucker. That's not real. This shit ain't even got no blades on it. But like as you go kind of like, I want you to not, I don't really necessarily believe in the old adage of like, you know, don't have fear. That's not true. Like fear is necessary. Fear is healthy. Fear is the little, you know, beeper system guy put in you to let you know, oh, you out here fucking with some shit you ain't got no business. But, you know, not to allow that to control your motherfucking like actions. You don't got to be Will Smith and jump out of a plane. That seems like to be some 50-year-old I'm a bajillionaire shit. But, you know, as we kind of progress, like, hey man, you might not like, you know, shit, haunted houses. Just keep it the same shit. But you should understand this is not a fucking real person. I mean, this is a real person. None of this shit is whatever. So you're not just like, just moved by fear. I also have really unnecessary thoughts in my brain. Like as we're sitting up here watching Zom 100, I every now and again, not a lot, but I got like 5% of a thought. Like in case the bullshit happens, you want to survive. Like if a zombie apocalypse started, I got to be able to knock these niggas' heads off so I can save my mom. If I'm like, it's a fucking zombie now, I'm ate up and dead. Them niggas always die in them shits. I don't like spiders, but bitch, I better be out here like Frodo or Sam. No, Frodo, because Frodo pussied up. He fucking got stabbed. But Sam was a fucking G, yo. Sam came up there with the little light sword stabbing shit. If you too pussy, you're not going to be like Sam. You're going to die.
It'd be like evolution when they discovered the insect aliens on Earth.
Oh yeah, take this leg too, boy. I stand on that. Take this motherfucker. Fuck anesthesia. Get an axe over dick, and it's aliens invading. Chop this motherfucker off. I'm not finna be out here fighting aliens dickless. Fuck no. Cut this motherfucker off today.
Traumatized, can't have no sex ever again.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not finna fight aliens and fight horniness with no apparatus.
Well, I mean, you get your strap on.
I'm trying to nut. I didn't stop nutting in November, and I'm not finna stop nutting when the fucking aliens get here. I done already seen some of the cool little you see some of the cool people that make the little artsy like they little what's it called? The artificial
artificial appendages?
Yeah, yo, and they be like, I saw one, it was some dude. I think it was the dude that made it. I might be wrong, but I saw like men wearing it and women, and they like made little Iron Man shits. The way I would be the first motherfucker if this motherfucker come off tomorrow, best believe I want some shit that it don't. Yeah, and it don't have no reason to do that. I could be up here with a looking like fucking. It'd
be like RoboCop. You press a button and the gun pop out your hip.
Best believe I would get something like that. It would at least look cool. I don't know if the technology allowed me to just get busy with it, but I would get one of those. I'm gonna make this shit look cool. So yeah,
you just, in the world of elites, you gotta have a lot of money to get the cool shit.
That's true. So
they got people walking around on metal toothpicks because they insurance don't cover some real flash shit.
That's whack.
I mean, but it's in the state of like a zombie apocalypse. That shit doesn't matter anymore. So would you just give it away? Like if aliens are here or zombies are taking over, whatever the case is, like. The normal structure of how things have functioned up to this point, does it still matter or does it not matter anymore? To just do whatever the fuck is necessary.
The people who are quicker to get to what is necessary to like survive. I feel like you try your best not to jump off the deep end immediately. Like if you're it's year or not even year, if it's like, 3 weeks in and the zombie apocalypse is starting, it would, even though we saw how we all acted over toilet paper, so it's over with. But in the perfect world, you don't jump to fucking year 7 actions in the first couple weeks. You try to keep it, get a group, maybe y'all have some organization, but then usually that falls apart, and then you got to just kill everything moving. Like, you got to kill, because then you're not just fighting zombies. The worst motherfuckers is, we all watch fucking Last of Us. Like, you fighting marauders and motherfuckers want to come and take your shit. Like, then it gets real fucked up. Like, those really who you fucking worried about. Zombies are stupid. Unless you got them World War Z motherfuckers in.
Yeah, but I said we don't know which zombies we getting. I mean, technically, zombies would be the same as the drug addicts we see in impoverished neighborhoods.
I mean, then y'all messed up because y'all can't outrun nobody, can't outfight nobody.
Not at all. I mean, in street culture, we call them zombies anyway. So who's to say, like, the meth head or the people that's, I don't know what the name of the drug is, but fucking San Francisco's hit super hard with it. And them motherfuckers just be lean.
But, that's how it would be, though. Like, the people that you overlook would be the motherfuckers that if you had paid them any mind, you could probably get a handle on it. Because that's how it'd be. Like, what was that fucking film? That's how it was in Blade. Like, the second Blade, he was just biting motherfuckers on the streets, and then they turned into his like underground pack. Mm-hmm. And it's like people not paying attention that, hey man, like that person's not behaving like a human. They be like, oh, get away from me, and then like that motherfucker down there boogalooing, turning into a fucking whatever, and you didn't pay no mind, and now this nigga didn't bit up. He didn't bite you because you was like, fuck you, motherfucker, that day, but like he didn't bit 50 motherfuckers in your neighborhood, and
or like I can't think of a movie, but it's some other movies where they have people that have been kidnapped or trafficked, mm-hmm. or homeless people that nobody really pays attention to. Nobody checks on them and sees if they are okay or if they exist anymore. Those are the people that were getting attacked first, because nobody's going to miss them, so to speak.
That makes
nobody's
sense.
going to check for them. And then it spreads from there because we don't pay enough attention to each other or caring about taking care of one another to the point to where, we're
and that's
right.
the crazy thing when I think about it, like, at least from here, from the LA perspective, like, y'all would be fucked. Because, like, the population extra heavy in the middle of the city. Y'all in them overpriced apartments. Get y'all ass chewed the fuck up.
They the first ones to go.
Instantly. They finna
people
ravage
that paid
them
for all that luxury to have some art loft somewhere on the outskirts of Skid Row.
Do some terrible Resident Evil shit, and you pop that shit off like mid game, like wait for the playoffs, and then you pop your fucking zombie thing off. Nuts. It's over with. Like this shit right here.
Getting chewed up.
Niggas just walking in the room and it's just a wrap.
Twitching. Oddly enough, I watched the live action version of this movie. Mm-hmm. I think it was on Netflix that I watched it on. I was like, when this came on, I was like, hold up. I saw the movie because it's like they're in alignment.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, the movie is actually pretty damn dead on the anime. I'm assuming the anime came first before the movie. What the fuck?
That makes sense. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, it'd be like, say, in this scenario,
right? These niggas is running. Yeah, y'all would be a rap.
Right.
It's over with.
We don't do no cardio. It's all left.
Yeah. Top speed running too. Yeah, it's rap. Done for.
I'll muscle the shit out of something, but.
And I thought about that with the Resident Evil shit, because them motherfuckers be turning in. It's over. That game really doesn't even make any sense.
Dogs and all that turning into.
And it was this last one that I saw, or I was watching some video about it, and it had the dude that was
remastered joint.
Yeah, and it had the dude that was it was like the bald, super big. He's like a priest, and he had like the big beard or whatever. When he take his jacket off, it's like a centipede fucking extra. I'm like, bro, the most deadest dead thing on the fucking planet, the motherfucker would be like, there's absolutely no way to beat this nigga in real fucking. It's over with.
You're going to be in a state of shock just seeing it to the point to where you won't know how to react or respond.
But see, the movies, shit like that wouldn't last for me, because them niggas be up there fucking investigating. Boy, I'm finna burn this whole shit to the ground. As soon as I see, it's 10 motherfucking zombies up here. Yeah, it's burning. Yeah, boy, like I know how, the writers be making cool shit where it makes sense that they go in and do some heroic shit, but I ain't gonna blow this motherfucker up. Shit it on fire.
Hopefully I can save somebody, most importantly myself.
Yeah,
I mean, oddly, it's situations like that, like aliens coming back or zombies or stuff like that, that reminds me, one, of just like how trivial a lot of the shit that we argue about is, but also we're not prepared to deal with anything outside of our understanding.
Hell no.
Like we fall apart just talking about two adults splitting an expense.
Man, okay. You finished with the point?
Go ahead.
Okay. I had this conversation in the ballpark like literally yesterday, and it was more or less like when I think about because I was watching, it was a series of events I was bouncing through YouTube looking for some shit to like spark some thought, and then I had this conversation later on in the day. But in the previous video, it was just discussing like it was a whole bunch of things about like stats and relationships and current events topics and blah, blah, blah. And in that particular video, it was like discussing like the statistics in real time, like in real life, like how we are not, like we are actually like way up there on fatherhood, and like how when it comes to like dating and stuff or like marriage, we're still very high on like interacting with one another. And so the conversation was around like how much these conversations aren't like they're not really real is the way I think about them. Like they real, they exist, fucked up shit happens, but like in mass, in the numbers, in big, nobody's fucking acting like this. Like it doesn't exist in real life. The same thing with that fucking nuclear family shit, or you niggas talking about like money and bill. Like this shit is not real, and it's just weird that these motherfuckers are the loudest group, therefore they like dominate the fucking, like, I don't know, man, it's not airwaves, but the fuck like internet and shit. Cause I saw some shit the other day, and it was one of the relationship shit. So I'm going through my feed doing this fucking doom scrolling, I think is what they call it now, and I'm just doom scrolling my fucking life away, and it pops up the passport bro shits, and I'm like, these are such a specific weird type of nigga. Like, I don't know any of these niggas. And that was part of, like, the conversation of, like, those niggas are very, like, prevalent. And I was like, and I'm not trying to minimize your experience, but I don't know these niggas in real life. And it's just weird that they have such a fucking, that they have, like, a presence. Because who the fuck are y'all? Like, I went to fucking China and, found the love of my life. That's because you're lame, nigga. Like, and I'm not saying you can't go anywhere and find love, but, like, going for that purpose, you're lame off top. And y'all niggas are not real people. I mean, they're real people, but
I mean, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not aware.
Yeah, it just was weird that like how much of a fucking dominance that has, and I'm like, I've never really met one of these people before, but it's weird how loud they be on the internet. So they have a fucking dominant presence.
I mean, kind of like what we're sharing. Someone's perspective is fact to them. So if you're moving in a certain way, whether you're moving corny, whether you're moving, lacking confidence and not believing in yourself, not understanding your worth, or you're manipulative, or you're a narcissist, whatever it is, whatever your reality is, it's going to shape your shit. So if that is you and you're like, the best way for me to get X, Y, and Z is to go out the country because I keep having this experience here, yeah. It's real to you, but it's also real to you because that's partly who you are, and you won't accept that shit. But I was thinking that in other circumstances of like people not being able to handle something outside of their norm, like this helped remind me of that. Like I've had the thought a number of times, but like he spent 3 years in a shit job. 3 years not challenging his superiors, 3 years not standing up for himself, 3 years sacrificing his happiness and joy and all that other stuff for the sake of a job that wasn't doing anything for him. And it took a zombie apocalypse for him to realize, like, oh shit, I'm free. I can live my life how I want to live my life. Why does it always take something drastic for people to really understand what life really is? Like, it's not until the aliens or something like this happens that people start to realize, oh shit, life really has never really been about all this shit that I said that I valued. All that shit mean absolutely nothing. Why does it take something that drastic to have you understand that perspective? Why are you not ready for real life until real life meets a drastic extreme?
I think some of that falls under you don't know what you don't know. Like, I think there's a good amount of motherfuckers, and obviously, I'm not opposed to kicking motherfuckers in the nuts for doing like dumb shit, but there is a good number or a good explanation of a lot of shit where it's like, in certain situations, motherfuckers just have no other option of thought, and it's not introduced to them until a fucking rock bottom type shit happens. Obviously, maybe not like a fucking apocalypse or whatever, but it'd be like a big fucking issue or situation that happens, and it's like, oh, this fucking thing taught me about A, B, and C. Like, like I don't condone said behavior, but you know, like now there's like a big thing online about the fucking motherfuckers walking in and just be like flash mobs and niggas stealing shit.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation about that, and it was because a friend of mine, like, student my boy Joe, like he's not in California, so he stays like, you know, he's on base, I think, on the East Coast. So it's a little bit of a, you know, isolated, you know, situation out there. So you're like kind of, you know, you learn a lot about what we're us mere plebeians are out here doing, like, you know, via the internet. So part of it was like, you know, obviously that thing of like the internet is like really boosting this shit. Because I even saw a random news thing yesterday, sitting with my granny, and it was just talking about how statistically speaking, like how this looks is not how it represents like safety and violence and fucking whatever in LA or LA County. So not to say like, you know, don't be, you know, be safe or whatever out there, but the idea of why are they doing this, and I understood the perspective of niggas, because it's always the same conversation around, like, especially some of these motherfuckers be like young kids, they tearing up their neighborhoods, and it's like, if you're asking somebody who is anywhere from fucking, I don't know, 12 to shit, you could be live your whole life that way. If you never leave this area, you never leave this block, you never leave this arena, you don't have the motherfuckers in your life who are supportive of you, that, you know, love and care about you, are also motherfuckers who've never left this spot. All the, you know, it's racism's fault and like supremacy, but like, you know, we're gonna get around to there. Like, you just got all these barriers and shit. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't get your motherfucking balls kicked in for being a fucking thief and running in here and messing up shit. But also, you're not like an evil motherfucker. You're a dummy. But also, you being a dummy is in certain conditions not your fault. Like, some of these motherfuckers is like, you grew up here, did this, and have never known anything other than this. So it may take, unfortunately, which is why the way that y'all use fucking like, you know, it's supposed to be corrections and rehabilitation. Like, y'all just don't be rehabilitating shit, because the way the system's supposed to work is, oh shit, you fucked up being a knucklehead. Now we put you through here to teach you a thing or two, and you come out better. So, or, you know, you just go through a process or whatever the fuck. But that ain't really how it worked. But I forgot what I was headed with that. But oh yeah, you just don't know what you don't know. So like, some of these motherfuckers enacting in behaviors and shit that they're doing, it's like, yeah, you fucking up, but also there's a good amount of like, you motherfuckers don't know no better. So you kind of gotta work in and around that, especially those who might know a thing or two.
Well, I mean, a part of, at least this is coming to mind now in the conversation, is like, part of the beauty of life is blissful ignorance. Like, you got to be ignorant at some point in some capacity, because you're going to have to learn something. So like, you're supposed to be in a state of unknowing, and your process is going to put you in a state of knowing, and that's how you can come into understanding and then mastery and then teaching it to someone else and passing it down and creating a cycle and starting anew and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And you'll juggle multiple variations of that at the same time, right? So life is, yeah, you're supposed to not know what you don't know, but the process of being here means that you're going to learn what knowing is. But you get to choose what variation of knowing that you know. Like, kind of like what we talked about off air. Like there's multiple variations to everything, right? There's no one version of anything on this earth. So knowing, there's no one version of knowing either.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always in a state of unknowing or not knowing, and you're always in a state of knowing. But we're sitting here thinking that what we do know is not important, and what we don't know is the thing that we have to search for, but not in a positive way. Like, I don't know what $1 million feels like. I don't know what it feels like to count $1 million, but I'm chasing a bag. Like, that's you chasing knowing. I want to understand and know what it feels like to have this. But is that really true understanding or true knowing? No. That's feeding an ego part of yourself.
Well, yeah, because then that starts to getting like to this little like word to mental health bag. Because like you get into the whys of why you would chase $1 million. Like, do you just want to touch $1 million, or are you searching for stability and happiness, and what does that really look like? And if you readjust what that looks like, you might not need $1 million. Not to say don't chase whatever dreams you want to chase, but there's a difference between chasing this specific dollar amount as opposed to chasing a career path or something that I can do that allows me to be in a comfortable, happy space. But that's more about motherfuckers kind of getting aligned with what they're really searching for and what you really, that's why that's another thing, like, why I hate motherfuckers, like, I don't know, man, saying shit or taking phrases to make it sound funny or whatever sometimes, and it'd be like really dumb, because it'd be like, everybody know, like, when they say like money doesn't cause happiness, money doesn't make you happy or whatever, motherfuckers be like, it'd be happy if I didn't have these bills. And it's like, well, yeah, bitch, like, obviously, but we know what the fuck that statement means. It's just like, if somebody said, hey, look, man, we'll give you fucking $5 million a day to go in here and punch babies, you wouldn't feel good. Like, so it's like, shit, you know what the fuck they talk about.
But some people, it's easier for them not to. Because, like, if I acknowledge the actual truth of what this thing is saying, like, money doesn't buy happiness. I know money can give me the ability within this system to get my basic needs met. And I need to have my basic needs met just to make sure that my brain is healthy, my mind is functioning, and I can live somewhat a happy, peaceful life, right? My food, my shelter, clothing, the ability to connect to other people, the ability to express emotion. Like, money gives me the ability to do that on a small scale. I'm cool from here on out. With no money, I lose the ability to do that, which is going to put me in a state of madness at some point, the longer that I go without it. But if I acknowledge that that's what that's really saying, like, my basic needs being met, but also outside of that, the rest is up to me, that means I have to fight with the conflicting idea that me getting this boat at some point is really what's going to make me happy. I know the boat ain't really going to make me happy. I am for sure 100% certain the boat's not going to make me happy. But if I tell myself that truth, then that's going to completely throw off everything that I'm working towards. It's going to fuck up my complete identity.
Yeah.
Like, it creates too much internal conflict for people to be able to understand. If I address this truth, then I won't be able to know what I'm telling myself I don't know. I can't handle that. I can't handle knowing that.
I mean,
well, not to cut you off, it's kind of like this example, right? He's in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. And not that it's a bad thing that he's telling himself, yeah, I don't have to go to this shitty job anymore. I can live my life the way I want. I'm free. I can do anything that I want. And I'm going to, like, go through this bucket list of things that I've always wanted to do that I couldn't do because I was at this shitty job that I chose to stay at. But that's another part of the conversation. But I'm blissfully ignorant to the fact that there's zombies and shit all outside. Like, life isn't going to be the way that I would like it to be previously understood. He's freaking out right now because I'm all out of beer. I'm all out of beer, and I got to go outside in the middle of this zombie apocalypse. But I'm going to happily do it because I want to go get beer so that I can continue to live my life and chill and do my own thing. I'm ignoring the fact that, like, oh, there's shit that can kill me. There's stuff that I need to be worried about in this regard. But, yes, I do have the ability to live my life the way I want to, but there's limitations to that. I can't sit around and watch TV all day because everybody that runs a TV station is fucking dead. Like, not even reruns, because somebody has to press the button for you to be able to watch.
Damn, the internet's off. That's crazy.
Right.
I mean, that makes sense though.
Has it met its end?
Oh, did it pop off? Technical difficulties with the mic stand. Hey, you know what's another like just gleaming example that the whole money shit don't always whatever. Diddy got a lot more money to me, and he's having a bad night.
I mean, he said more money, more problems. Now I'm assuming,
man, and they fucking probleming in this motherfucker.
The problems that he chose to have are, I think the issue with a lot of people is like more money, more problems, right? But it's the problems that you end up having are that you gave yourself access to more shit that you don't need. So because you have more access to shit that you don't need, you end up making life way more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, or that usual adage of like, money don't fuck you up. Money just turn you into who the fuck you gonna be regardless. Because
it makes you more of who you already are.
Because it's a lot of motherfuckers getting fucking. Because I know that I know in that particular part. Yeah, I know in that particular part, there's like that whole thing of New York and the whole. You had to like whatever that statute was called. You had to like get them in right now. If you ever thought about it and didn't come forth, you can. So I realized that's why like
statute of limitations.
Yeah, so I realized that's why motherfuckers were getting shot left and right with that. But I don't know, man. Some of those, obviously, I'm not saying like everybody was ever, but that Diddy shit, boy, like.
I mean, you see, at least I saw this week. It ain't just Diddy. I saw. Shout out to Eric. Eric sent me some shit of how like they're talking about him and Aaron Hall.
And I mean, I can't speak to. I don't know. I don't know about the Aaron Hall thing. Like I saw it, but I don't know enough about it to be like, he did that shit. I know that, he seemed like I don't know when this happened, but he seemed like he was a wild nigga. Like
he had more access to it because of who he was.
But I don't know what his allegations are, except if it's just like assaults. Like
I think his was just sexual assaults and him just being a filthy motherfucker.
Yeah,
and
so
getting away with some shit and just being aggressive when it comes to sexual things.
Yeah, I think with this being like there's just so many fired out, I feel like this is definitely, I feel like one of those moments where it'll, I don't know, word to justice, but I feel like it'll definitely convolute the space because I do think that some of those, like the Jamie Foxx one seemed like it might be somebody being an opportunist. Mm-hmm. And it's really dangerous, I think, when that happens, that might happen because there's motherfuckers who would use that the Jamie Foxx person may be an opportunist as some way to like disregard that. Nah, nigga, some of these other niggas is like really fucking villains. And then on the flip side, because Diddy might be villain nigga number one, that automatically puts everybody in the same ballpark, which is fucking nuts.
Well, I'm sure a lot of them shot themselves in the foot just because they put themselves in the space to be able to be in equal access of people they can manipulate and those that could profit off of being manipulated by them, so to speak.
That makes sense. How would you avoid that being in their position though? Because shit, that at a certain level, shit, that's everybody you interact with.
Well, I won't say 100%. I won't say 100%. Like, there's rich people out there. Say kind of like we looked at Slim Thug this week as well.
Oh, they got mad. They was fucking mad.
And because Slim, but what he's doing works for him, and it works for a lot of people if they do stuff the quote unquote the right way. Right?
Yeah,
like I'm gonna understand my business. I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing things the right way. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing things in a smart way, and it's gonna be beneficial for me. And I'm gonna also utilize that to improve my own shit. This, that, and the other, blah blah blah. But because I'm utilizing discernment and I'm not motivated 100% by the material bullshit or the lifestyle, I'm able to still discern how to keep proper people around me. Mm. But you had that ability beforehand because that ability helped you get the money that you had in the first place. And I think it's the same thing when it comes to like the Aaron Halls and the Diddy's. Like, you had the ability to know how to choose the right people to be around, but you got more money, more fame, more status, and you started becoming more motivated by that stuff as opposed to being motivated by just doing right or doing whatever the case was that you initially started off with. It's like like say for us, we both been in college and Greek organizations, like the corny niggas that cross, and because you cross, now you all of a sudden getting all the ass and the bitches and like you was corny before this. You just got something that gave you access to capitalizing offset corniness in a positive way as opposed to a negative, and you ran with it because you lost sight of how to really be yourself.
That was always such a crazy thing to watch. Like, you've never, and this is not a shot at anything anybody specific, because it's everybody. It's like all of a sudden this nigga cute, he tough down. All of a sudden this nigga's been lame the whole time.
You a capper now, so now you a pretty nigga that wears dress clothes.
Why did you shake my hand like that? That happened though. Like, it was I don't even remember bro name, but we were just casually cool friends and like in a class together, and joined up, and it was like, why you softly touch my hand? You've never act like this. I've known you now. We almost a year in this class. Like, right. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think that's the same concept of people with money. So for some of them, it's like, it's not that you don't know how to avoid it, it's that you weren't really intending to avoid it in the first place, because your whole purpose for being in that position was so that you could do the fuck shit that you already wanted to do when you was broke.
And that make you niggas nasty. Like, that make y'all just outrageously nasty niggas. Because it don't be like, the money get to your head. It's like, nah, the money didn't get to this motherfucker head. This motherfucker been rich over here too.
That's been an excuse people use to deflect. Like, money can change people. Like, money can change people when you use for lack of a better terminology, when you use a weak motherfucker, the money will change you because you was already looking for the money to change you in the first place. The money was a bigger motivator for you being yourself than you actually learning who you are and dictating the version of you want to be, right? Like, the money's going to make me me, as opposed to me being myself, and being myself is the ability for me to make money.
Yeah, I think that's also like a thing where, like, I mean, I know, not to say that some of them, like, well, I guess in that space, like billionaires, and you always hear like the motherfuckers is like crazy wild motherfuckers. But I just think that there is something to be said about not always being the top motherfucker in the room, because I just feel like that's also like it's money, but it's also like motherfuckers get drunk off power. And like, we laughed a lot at, like, if I'm just using the Diddy example, like we was all laughing at, run across the fucking bridge to I don't know, Brooklyn and give me some Cambodian titty milk. Like, that was funny, but also like, yo, nigga, that's heinous as shit. Like, entertainment and everything and all that other shit taken aside, but like the idea that was like a real way a motherfucker live life is crazy as cat shit. Like, that's fucking insanity to have that type of thought over people's lives or whatever, or how to interact with motherfuckers. That's
super manipulative, but that's a sign or indication that you are not in touch with yourself. Having more access to a thing amplified the bullshit that was already present in you. I thought about that because some of the stuff, not to condone Diddy or R. Kelly or Aaron Hall or even Jamie, because as I've shared before, we all, if you in LA and you an adult and in your 30s or 40s now, or if older, or your late 20s, you done heard about some Jamie Foxx parties, and you know some girls that's been in there in them Jamie Foxx parties or trying to get in there. Like, in us regular world, I know for sure, we got kink parties, we got play parties, we got parties where people go and can do dastardly things or do things that are outside of the conventional norm. Oh.
I was like, what?
I just had to make sure it was like none of equipment, but whatever. But there's regular people that go to these spaces where they can participate in sexual deviancy with other people, right? And these broke motherfuckers, that's like, in comparison to Diddy and them, they broke as fuck. They're just regular ass people, and they like to do these things. Who's to say that Diddy and people like that weren't the same types of people, that they just like to do things differently? They like sex toys and sexual deviancy and whatever type of play you can think of, but having more access to money and control because of money amplified that to a sick point to where it turned into manipulation for them.
I mean, I guess I think that could maybe be like a part of it, or that's something that could be explored, but I still lean towards the fact of like, shit, because motherfuckers have the access to it, and if you want to be in the space, it ain't nothing for you to, get your entry, find your way, find your community. And if you want to consensually, like, it's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there. You can consensually put your whole arm up a motherfucker ass, in whatever kind of fucking, you can even there's that crazy consensual non-consent type that like there's a whole lot of play out there. So I just feel like it kind of goes into that money turning you into a person. I don't know how much money makes me want to, like, I'm gonna take me out of it. I don't have no amount of money that's gonna make me want. That's a different type of thing to want to do something to somebody against their will, to start making people like engage in shit that they don't want to fucking engage in. Especially when us regular motherfuckers down here on planet Earth, I still very much so have the idea that the world is outside.
Yeah.
So you can go find somebody or find somebodies that are into your shit. If you are of that caliber of individual where at any given waking moment they can just get up and go, I'm about to get up and go to work. Then when I get up and go, I go to like my house, and that's not too far. But when motherfuckers can do that level, like the ease of that travel to different countries and shit, I just don't find there to be much excuse, because you could find anybody anywhere. And low key, as famous as them motherfuckers be, it doesn't even have to be a money thing. Motherfuckers will fuck you off the strength of who you are. Like,
Yeah.
you're one of the most known motherfuckers in music and in the industry and all this other shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense unless you just are of a fucking crazy, type of individual. I'm gonna say allegedly. I don't know. I don't know these motherfuckers, but if we're,
at least the thought that's kind of coming to mind now, randomly, it's like the battle between narcissism and borderline personality disorder. So like the narcissists could be said famous people that have access to the means and the money and the control and manipulation, and they're going to find ways to do all this dastardly shit to get it back in their direction. Whereas the borderline people, those are the people that struggle with the ability to understand boundaries in relationships. They think relationships are stronger than what they really are. They're trying to find a way to stay in it. They can be more codependent and things of that nature. So it's like the narcissists are going to find people that have an opposite personality disorder, and I have the means and access to be able to control them. And honestly, it's like having a little plaything to a degree. Like I have the means and opportunity to have this borderline person be my plaything. A narcissist can't fuck with another narcissist. Like you ain't see Diddy with another Diddy. You ain't see R. Kelly with another R. Kelly.
Now y'all get mad when motherfuckers talk about all that fucking relationship dynamics, applying pressure ass shit. Like, this is what I be saying. Like, this is where that shit can like fucking lead. Like, I want a motherfucker who can just buy the whole fucking planet, and I don't have to match that motherfucker in any way. Not to say that just turns you into some fucking, or fucking excuses abuse, but it does set the dynamic up that this motherfucker might be fucking with dog, but you now have to really wonder if dog is in like a weird fucking I want to have a control dynamic, because that's what that shit be. Y'all be romanticizing all these fucking songs. Them shit sound nuts. I'm gonna play them because the fucking song slap, but that dynamic in real life is fucking crazy. It doesn't promote any type of healthy or positive fucking relationship dynamic. None of that shit. That set motherfuckers up for complete and fucking utter chaos.
Yeah. And if somebody's in a certain mindset to where they're not aware of that, or they don't perceive that properly, they end up making themselves a victim in some capacity. Using that word loosely, because people get triggered when you use the word victim. But
yeah, I'm finna go to this motherfucking such and such a party, and this and that's like, hey man, like, I don't give a fuck if somebody worth XYZ amount of. Nobody just doing shit for free. Like, be aware.
I mean,
not taking away from the fact these niggas is fucking.
No, but it's you're going into the situation thinking the borderline. You're not understanding boundaries. You're thinking that you have the ability to posture yourself differently in this relationship. You're not one of their peers. Like, although Diddy was talking about he want to take other millionaires out shopping, but for the most part, like, they don't do these things to their peers. These things happen to people that they believe are at a lower stance than them.
That nigga 50 is losing it.
I mean, 50. Shout out to 50.
Is fucking nonstop. He posted some picture where is Diddy just dancing in the club with his pants at his ankles, and just like
Oof. Man was living life.
Yo, yeah, that nigga. 50 is, I like that 50 is an equal opportunity shooter. Like,
absolutely. But
yeah,
50 is known for being a bully. So I use that example because, like, some people could say the persona of 50 Cent is a narcissist. He's a bully, he's a controller, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah.
Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
They don't, but
like, y'all just, I gotta hate that word. That's a real thing, and y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
They don't. But Diddy can't manipulate another narcissist. But Diddy can manipulate, what's that girl name?
Cassie?
Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie's not she's not a narcissist.
Oh, no, that was clearly somebody who was like, oh, yeah, I can.
You put yourself, not to blame her, but you put yourself in a position to get some sort of gain from it. I perceived that this relationship was more than what it actually was. Yes, he may say that I'm his girlfriend and the world may know me as his girlfriend, but in reality, the other narcissists that he work with, they know that I'm his plaything. They know that I'm a toy. They know that I'm this, I'm that. And I know that too, but I don't want to admit that. Going back to the discussion earlier of not acknowledging the reality of things because I want to stay in blissful ignorance. I'm sure Cassie knew, like, yeah, I have the label on the outside of being his girlfriend, but I'm not really at an equal standpoint with him.
Well, blissful ignorance sound good. Y'all just be finding real nice ways to justify, like, really bullshit. Because I don't even be knowing how some of y'all, like, are really, like, that ignorant. It's just like, I would like it to look like this and be like this so I can maneuver through it this way, as opposed to going, like, this is crazy, some crazy shit that I participated in. But, like, I hear you, though.
But that's our favorite thing. That's avoiding accountability. If I act like it ain't what it is, I get to say that it's this other person's fault that it turned out this way because I didn't contribute. When really I did contribute. I was a willing participant. I just told myself a different version of the story.
Because I can even put that back on, like, even from not even trying to jump on said victims or people who receive it. It's even motherfuckers who are getting, and I know it's hard to sometimes avoid as, like, a person in a position of power or, like, with a lot of money, but that also would, like, I think speak to, if we're making it, like, taking it out of just complete fucking the most heinous version of it and just down to just even engaging in romance, it make that apply pressure shit really fucking dumb, because from that dynamic it makes it look like, no, we should have some really clear understanding and active verbiage and communication on what is going on here. And the way the motherfuckers be making these really guesstimatey ass relationship shits, that shit kind of can't happen, because it makes it dangerous for, like, the group. You don't understand, I don't understand, I'm thinking I'm applying pressure, I'm creepy as fuck. Motherfuckers don't know how to fucking adjust or understand emotions with one another. You thinking this motherfucker is applying pressure and you not paying attention that this nigga is a fucking love bomby narcissist fucking weirdo, but you thinking you getting all, and you walking head first into into one of the most fucking traumatic events of your fucking life, baby, because you think this nigga is romantic.
Right. It's easier for you to tell yourself a version of the story that makes you not have to accept the reality or the truth of what actually is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, nigga, y'all can go on dates and shit, but, like, y'all just be saying goofball shit. I would like everybody to kind of, adult, whatever the fuck that look like for you.
Do people even know or understand what it means to be an actual adult?
I don't know what the fuck that is, especially us. An adult, and also no, because, like, adulting is shit. We see that shit with all these fucking any page that shows you, like, a little joking generational thing about even job wise. What was an adult for my fucking grandfather was a different adult from my father. What is a goddamn super different for me, and the generation after us, I don't know what the fuck they finna do. Good luck, niggas. Like, we finna shoot them out, figure it out, because an adult at fucking our grandparents' age was like 16. Knew how to cut a whole tree down and build a house. Couldn't read that well, but could build some shit. And then, like, our parents, niggas started going to college, and that was hilarious. And it was like, look at y'all. And we had, like, cool shit and Aaron Hall videos and symmetrical haircuts and colorful clothes women were dominating the workforce, and it was amazing, and equality was becoming a thing. And now, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck everybody doing now. So you got to answer your question. No.
Everybody's doing any and everything. Everybody's trying to be and do everything outside of being who they are. Not to, I am an advocate for a lot of communities, but when you have the ability to, I identify as whatever, just because I want to and I feel like, that means you don't have to be accountable to what you, I'm like, no, I'm actually this. This is who I am. This is how I'm going to be this version of what I am. And I'm going to accept that and be accountable to that and figure out how to maneuver the way that I would like to. I'm going to create my identity based on the template that I have, and this is what it looks like going forward, as opposed to, no, I just want to be this. I don't even want to be this anymore. I don't identify as this. I don't want to be this. I don't think about this. I don't identify with a race or an ethnicity. I don't identify with the gender. I am a spirit that is having a human experience.
I always wonder, motherfuckers who don't be like identifying with like a race. What happens when like the races pull up? Do they just like, do they rock with that, or do you just kind of like?
Oh, how do I don't identify as black, but a racist would be like, oh, you don't?
Yeah, like like when the fucking like,
I thought you were a Negro. I'm sorry, you're not a nigger.
Yeah, do they be going with that, or do they be like, yeah, like I hear you on that shit?
Because
but also,
as much as our society, in my opinion, as much as our society, is that fucking
that nigga Sharpie the beard, that's crazy.
I was gonna say the little picture he looked at looked like was it Ryan Gosling?
You
looking at Ryan Gosling?
Good pull.
But damn, forgot what I was about to say. Damn, what was I about to say? No, that's the wrong sound. Doo doo doo. The first one you are calling. But I think I was going to say like this, as far as people having the ability to identify with whatever they want, it gives them the ability to avoid some accountability, right? I think I touched on that part. Mm-hmm. You were saying, what did you say after that?
What the fuck did I say? I don't know. I'll be kind of in the flow state. Okay. But it was. I said the thing about racists and motherfuckers identifying as.
That's what it was. For a fucking like, as much as we have or live in a society that gives us the freedom to identify as whatever we want, our society still has a specific boundary. It still has a set of rules. We may not want to agree with or identify with those set of rules, but those rules are still those rules. As long as my skin looks a certain color, I can say I'm whatever. I can be Dominican, I can be Black American, I can be African, I can be Nicaraguan, I can be some sort of Central American, I can be a South American. But to that racist person, like, oh, you're a nigger, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
I don't give a damn where you from. You're a nigga that speaks Spanish. Great. You're a nigga with curly hair that eats rice because you're fucking Filipino or Thai. Right? Like, you still have brown skin. So to me, you're still insert a race that I don't fuck with. And that's within society standards. We live in a colorist society. No matter what country you go to, it all has aspects of discrimination and bias.
Yeah, color is big.
So you can choose to identify as whatever you want, but there's still a reality. Like, I can choose to identify as a woman, which is fine, but I'm still not female. So it gets tricky. So yes, just because I choose to identify as something, that doesn't mean that reality of the world around me is going to see it exactly the way that I do.
Spanish speaking nigga that eat rice. There was a video going around where a nigga was like, if I don't trust a nigga that say he don't like rice, there's just too many different types of rice for you to say you don't fuck with rice. And I'm inclined to fucking ride with that. I know that's a bit of a sidebar, but like, I'm inclined to ride with that nigga.
Well, I mean, shit, rice was a commodity, like grains.
Yeah, I just like, if it's too many people, like, it's too many types of rice. Every culture got a rice. If a nigga say I don't like rice at all, like, you have to kind of
not basmati, not jasmine, not long grain, not parboiled, not emperor's black rice. No,
Yeah, you an insurgent, bro. We gotta kind of like you gotta really think about that person.
I mean, I can see if you on a keto diet. I just want fucking fruits, vegetables, and meat.
Now,
I don't want no grain.
See, that's different. You doing it for a diet is one thing. If you open your mouth and say every time I've tasted rice, like rice tastes terrible, you got to be arrested. You different.
I mean, there's people that say that about other people's body parts.
I don't trust them either. Like what body part we talking about? So I can tell you how much I don't trust them.
I mean, there's people that say that about any particular. Like there are people that'll say I don't eat insert whatever food that's really not that weird.
Okay, we talking food.
Yeah, but at the same time they'll eat. What is it? Fucking Ocho and Shannon. He's like,
hey, I love Unc, man, but Unc be saying some shit.
He's just an old school,
and I'm like,
country,
hey, man, it's a little bit of Unc
stereotypical.
Oh,
yeah.
I ain't saying I don't know. Like, Unc's still Unc, but when he be getting in his relationship bag, I'm like, hey, man, I can't ride.
He thinks like an old school country nigga. He's in his 50s, so what you expect?
I mean, you make a good point.
He's gonna talk like an old school. That's the generation. The old school country niggas, especially from the deep south. He ain't grow up in L.A.
Yeah,
he from the country, like backwoods. Of course he's gonna think a certain traditional way because that's the mentality that his family raised him with. Grandma and grandpa raised you, but you was off up in the country and in the backwoods. They was raising you with old school slave narratives to a degree.
Yeah, that's true.
So you a slave minded nigga that got access to some shit and it changed. I won't say it changed you, but it amplified your ability to think more of what you already wanted. He wanted to be able to live the life that he lives now, do the things he did. He just didn't have access to it until he realized football can give me access to having it. Now it's like I'm super staunch in whatever I said I was going to do before. Because I got the money to say that I don't have to do some of the shit that y'all niggas. If he was just a regular, everyday cat, I'm pretty sure he changed some of how he views certain things. But I'm rich and I'm a Hall of Famer and I'm getting more money from my platforms. No, I ain't sucking no toes, but I'll eat chitlins.
Here's the thing.
Or I'll eat possum. I think that's what they were discussing. I'll eat possum or I'll eat raccoon, but I ain't sucking no toes on no woman.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I'm not like a feet nigga, but like
a nice feet.
I think a nice looking foot is good, but I'm not like it's niggas who are into feet.
Oh, I'm not into feet.
So yeah, like I'm not into feet, but if you got a nice you can appreciate these are pretty feet.
I'm gonna suck on the big
and toe. Yeah, like I guess for me it's like if
the heel in my mouth and bite on it.
Yeah, it's like for me, I guess the thought is like if my partner says like I like my feet and my toes sucked on, it just doesn't logically make sense to be like, ugh. It's just like, okay, cool. Like if this motherfucker unless this motherfucker got some claws down there, which that would have to be a discussion.
If you got the Marcus, if you got them
I think that's what
hammer
it is.
Time, then I don't want to put them in my mouth.
Yeah, I think that's what it is to me. It's like you can if you were like, oh, I'm not like a feet nigga, but like. Yeah, they like it. Cool. It doesn't bother me in one bit to put a foot in your mouth. You kiss this like y'all exchange saliva before we even get into sucking titties, eating pussy and ass. Like kissing is an exchange of like it just is, and it's nobody funny.
Full of bacteria and dirt. You don't know their oral hygiene regimen, no none of that.
Yeah, so to say like you wouldn't put this motherfucker foot in your mouth is a little crazy. That you just like, just like it's crazy. Like motherfuckers, like I don't really like, I don't know that those exist, but like I know over the course of my life there are people like they like just wasn't sucking dick like it was something you should do during sex, and I
only do that for my husband.
Yeah, good luck. How the fuck we gonna get there? I just like we not getting there. I'm not getting to. You're not getting me down no aisle. My dick not sucked.
Well, even then, even if you do get to the point where somebody's willing to not get it until you marry them, you're going to be terrible at it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's like I'm willing to not do it. I'm only going to give it to a person that they decide that they're going to give me their all for the rest of their life. Then they will be deserving of this thing that I'm going to do terribly until I learn how to do it better.
Yeah, I feel like that concept, even if we're going to stay on, because suck that motherfucker's dick, bro. But we're going to stay on that because I just always feel like that's what makes these conversations dumb when motherfuckers be like, I'm only gonna, if you've never practiced, like I'm not a good nigga for you. I'm a good nigga in my life. So if you've never been a nice, good person, it doesn't make any sense that you get to the relationship or you get to marriage and all of a sudden your womanly instincts, no, they don't. They don't kick in. You don't have them. You have not practiced this.
There's womanly instincts to suck dick properly.
Whatever. That's what y'all be saying. Like you're not a nice person. You haven't been nice in any of these scenarios. This is man or woman. You're mean. You're short tempered. You're not open minded. Whatever the fuck. Whatever negative traits you have, you're not gonna get a partner and they just pop up. You're a dickhead. You just happen to be like you're a human. So like you are in love, but you're only expressing love in the way a dickhead can express. That doesn't make sense. I'm be so tired when y'all say that shit. Like, I don't do this, but when I'm in a relationship, you're still a fucking asshole. You're just an asshole who like this motherfucker, and you lean on them and want them to do everything that you want them to do. You're probably a fucking terrorist. It's like a slave ship in this bitch.
But that's a narcissist. That goes back to our conversation of a narcissist can't be with another narcissist.
Fair point.
How many people, and I'm saying people loosely, how many people are the narcissists in a relationship? Their ideals are similar to that of somebody that is a narcissist.
Well, you know, everybody be fucking posting the goddamn Justin LeBoy definition of a narcissist.
If you follow him,
I haven't really seen a lot of his posts lately. Did he stop?
no, because I know he still posts because I didn't seen some of the women that I follow or I'm cool with. I see they repost it and I be like, oh, I thought you were cool.
Yeah, I thought y'all was bad.
I thought you were a decent human being, and then now you're reposting. I can see it because I'll say at least 1 out of every 10 posts, maybe 2 out of every 10 posts will be something relatively decent. And then the rest of that shit just be nonsensical silliness.
So my issue with the post usually is like, you know, my usual thing is that it be how y'all be flipping or maneuvering it, and it's like that's where I be feeling like you said, the narcissist thing, because it be like a lot of everybody else is the issue shit usually, and the quotes be like the definition will be in the ballpark, but still kind of off, but also very, very favored in the thing of there's a lot of this, and here. Like, I don't really feel like you're recognizing that you are actively partaking in the shit that you just said this post is. It's a lot of weird ass backward shit that y'all be saying and doing, and it just be like, you know, it's bullshit. But, you know, go with God, I guess, or whatever.
Whichever version you believe in.
Yeah. What was I know there was some questions.
And some questions.
Let's see.
We're going into the question
segment.
segment.
I forgot about this, but it's a developing story, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess like T.I. and fucking.
Oh yeah, T.I. and his son.
Young Chompers.
Jones.
Yeah. Like,
The young street shark.
Yeah, there's a longer video that came out of it. It was like, it sounds more so about like the boy. I don't know the boy's like story for real, but
You don't know his story as far as what?
Like the back and forth of what the issue was they're like look like they're in the box talking about what's going on, and he's having conversations about like where he's from. I stand on business. He says a lot about like going to his grandma's house. They were like, you grew up rich, like at a silver spoon in your mouth. And he was like, I didn't grow up around y'all. And I guess that was mentioned in other videos that he's like mentioned that he stayed with his grandma and he didn't want to be there. And so there's, you know, obviously everybody's like having discussions in the comments about he might, you know, there's respect your parents. There's he might have a point if he didn't live with them and they made him be famous or whatever. And he wanted to go and live in the neighborhood. And it was like, I hear y'all, but I was like, I don't know. I just, being T.I.'s son and T.I. being Tip and what that feels like, and you actively being, you know, in the field doing that, it's just, those are not the same things, and it just seems weird. But I don't know enough about it, but in speculation, it just kind of seems like a nigga who kind of, knee-jerk wise, it seems like a nigga who wants to be, like, recognized as, like, he from that. When you have parents who like are from that and not only are from that but have created like whatever you think about them, have created millions in generational wealth and all this other good shit for their families and shit. So like, why would you try to be that?
I mean, my thing with Buddy, he's one of the youngers, Correct. Damani's the older one.
Yeah.
Correct. Damani is the one he wasn't in it as long. Cause he's not Tiny's son. He's somebody else's son with T.I. So he has had to experience more bullshit than King has.
I thought that was the older one that plays the guitar. I thought that one.
Oh yeah, there isn't. I forgot Damani is the second. He's the second, the middle child, right?
Yeah, if I'm thinking about this right, it's the older one. He does the guitar and shit.
Right. Then there's
Damani, and then
there's King. As far as the boys are concerned, there's some girls in there, but
yeah, King, and then the I think the major kid.
Yeah. Well, it's like at least for King, like we saw you grow up on a TV show, buddy. Like you can't say, like Damani lived in the same household as you, and we saw documented footage of y'all living in the same house.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't trying to act like that, and he's still a talented artist. He still gets notoriety for the music that he makes. He still is able to demonstrate a certain persona that doesn't have to be the street thing, but it ain't got to be a silver spoon privileged motherfucker either. Why are you trying to posture yourself as not being that when we have documentation of y'all being in the same household for a certain number of years? 1. 2, I wanted to grow up in the neighborhood. Hey, dummy, I'm from the neighborhood. And the whole reason for me moving my family here is because there was nothing in the neighborhood worth staying for. At least not, safety-wise. Certain things, yeah, grandma may keep her house over here or whatever the case may be. And I may want you to have a connection to that community because that's our family history and things of that nature. But I don't want you growing up in that. That's the whole reason why I'm in the position that I'm in. That's 100% of what I talk about in my music. And now you're telling me that you want to identify with and be the thing that I spent so much time trying to not be a part of.
I'm not laughing.
I mean, he's the sexual deviant in this one, so it makes sense for him to be.
Nigga just got ass naked mid. All right, anyways.
Just flying through the air and just got naked. Didn't tear the clothes off. They just floated off. So and he can do a pirouette in midair, dick swinging at the camera.
Crazy.
As you escape zombies with no clothes on.
I mean, if you're going to go out.
Go out naked.
Yeah, there's worse
flying
ways
through
to
the
go.
air. But, yeah, to me, I feel like he's trying too hard to be something that he's not. Like, sticking with ATL reference, he's the new.
Somebody put that in the comments, and that got me.
He's the new. Like, you didn't grow up like that, but you trying so hard to prove. It's like, but you talking to your parents, bro. Your daddy really is that, has been documented as being that. If he's not vouching for you, who's going to vouch for you?
And that's what it just seemed like. It just seemed like everybody talks about him having a bad attitude. Like, that's been the thing, and that's been joked about before, and so on and so forth. And, that does kind of reinforce that behavior to be like, it's cool. And, I just, like, there's people, there was comments that said, like, the fucking show was not true. And I'm like, either way, even if the show wasn't true, he's very much so T.I. at this time. He's been T.I. Your mother has been Tiny. Like, the experience, the way you would have had to go out of your way to have some type of, like, hood experience, and it wouldn't have been the same. It just is, it just, like you said, it just sounds like a nigga trying to create a persona about himself that's not true and not necessary, because there's nothing that says, that because you are a quote unquote nigga from the streets that you are automatically. It's a bunch of motherfuckers. I have seen it. I have seen my fair share of, like, regular. I got a mom and a dad. I come from a good household. Ball a motherfucker to fuck up that was from every bit of this in this area. Like, so the idea that you need that to have some type of badge of, like, toughness or honor or real nigginess, because niggas still, like, just, that's all you niggas is looking for, is like a way to cement yourself as a tough, real, masculine man nigga. And it just, the correlations don't necessarily really correlate. We didn't see more rats this year, and all these niggas was real niggas. They done told, they done snitched, they not trying to go to jail. They not doing none of that shit.
Even before then, you saw it on First 48.
Yeah, and I'm seeing niggas who are MMA and fucking boxing champions with their whole fathers in the fucking camp training them up, and they were like, I remember when he took me to school and like helped me with my homework, and he also taught me how to beat this first nigga to fuck up. So like, there's just no correlation that you have to be this in order to be fucking him, especially when
you
your
got
dad.
a fucking Mayweather. Mayweather's rich as shit. He's cocky and has his confidence within certain regards, but I'm in this position that I'm in because my dad helped me get here.
Yeah.
My dad was my coach. My dad was the one that was side by side with me. Or even like, just speaking from personal experience, like my family's connected to Deshaun Jackson. Like my dad helped me become successful, and my older brother helped me become successful. I'm still me. I still got aspects of street in me, but I don't have to be that. But I say even for him, what's more nuts is because like literally your dad is that. Your dad did jail time multiple times for certain things, and you see the people. Your dad is cool with Killer Mike, who can be a rough, tough nigga, but also be highly educated and was on the student body council in high school and all this other stuff and went to college. But he also is an advocate for whooping some ass if you need to whoop some ass and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You've seen your dad be around Outkast, both Big Boy and Andre, and the Goody Mob, and everyone else that's in the Dungeon family. Like, you get to see all these Atlanta legends who most of the Atlanta legends from the 90s and early 2000s are cats that was, yeah, we ain't really street niggas like that. We're street niggas because we from the hood, but we're actually intellectuals, and we're sharing our stories through this, that, and the other. And we're sharing our experiences through this, that, and the other. Like, CeeLo Green originally, we know him as being the soul machine and all this other shit, but he originally bald head nigga with gold teeth. Like, I ain't no street nigga at all, but I grew up in the hood and I know what it is and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Like, these are the people that your dad was around, and they can solidify and certify your pops for what he's been through. And your dad has beefed with somebody like Shawty Low, who was also reputable in his own little respected area. Why are you trying to be something that they were and they're telling you that you're not?
But I think that's like,
how can you not embrace the thought that like, yeah, I don't have to be, these niggas are legends in Atlanta, and they not telling people that they was the biggest thugs in the city?
Because I think it's more of a, and I don't know this is me now just being completely speculative because I don't know the inner workings of that household, but like that's where like the conversations don't seem to maybe like have boiled into what they needed to boil into, as opposed to being like, you hear them like, it seems like the same issue with motherfuckers who are fans. Like, you watch somebody year in and year out be the realest nigga in fucking music, and you latch onto the persona of your parent and those that they're around, as opposed to latching onto the individuals that they are and lessons that they probably like tried to instill in you. Like, you don't have to be this persona. This is me talking about my experience, and especially if you're leading by example. Your brother is sitting up here, makes really good fucking music, like really talking about his experience, like like, cause it's shit at this point. Even your dad, when your dad makes music, this nigga be talking about his feelings. Making it be really
social justice.
When he want to get his shit off, it be luxury bars. I really don't know that T.I. even talks to us about bricks. It's just like, I'm in really when I want to get gangster, I'm talking to y'all about how fucking rich I've been for literally since I was fucking
probably 10 plus years. Well, definitely more than 10 years, because I was listening to goddamn I'm Serious in high school.
T.I. brought me through high school and college.
Oh, like, for sure.
Like
I said,
I legit
before that might be middle school for you, because I was listening to him in high school.
It was Rubber Band Man, and that shit was like as I entered into high school.
Yeah, and that was like the third CD.
Yeah, he's 20 years in, like 04, because like 04, I actively, when I had anything remotely, I remembered when I had something that even remotely smelled like I had a system in my trunk. I like my beat down low and my top lit back, and I was going to fuck the speakers up when that like, fuck y'all. Like, anyways, like, he's just been, and that's another thing, like, he's been who he is before you were born. Like, it's just such a crazy thing. Like I would, you would maybe get something out of this from like maybe the older ones if you were gonna have that thought or experience. It's like, bro, he's been who he's been your entire existence. Right. And I'm not saying like Granny don't move out of Granny house, but Granny, I mean, unless somebody gonna say some shit that just is out of this world, Granny doesn't have like the rest of our granny's experiences. That is the granny of a very rich nigga, man.
You have access to being at Granny's house because I am who I am.
All of that.
You don't have to be over. You're not at Granny's house because I ain't got it and I can't take care of you. You're at Granny's house because you have everything at your fingertips. And if you want to go over there, you can go over there. And you'll be protected even if it is in the hood because you're my son. Like, you get to still go to the hood and have a slightly different experience than I would have had in the hood because I am who I am.
Yeah. Now, what I would say as pushback is some of these things that, and shit, everybody does it. My family does it. Like, where I think there are things that we look at in our children or motherfuckers' behaviors where it's like, you know, he like me, you know, he go there. And it's like, yeah. But also, as the parent, you got to kind of like, I don't want to say curb, like I want to like subdue that, because some of that is like some of your best trait is often your worst trait. But I feel like some of that hotheadness, he definitely has been. I don't even follow that fucking family like that, but I've always heard the stuff that out of he's like, he promotes like, this is the one that'll get there. And it's like, cool. It's just that these, you know, and this, but also, everybody's shit be unfolding in real time. This might have been that moment where you kind of need to know, like, hey, man, I'm like, you might not have known who your father was, but like now, up here in this month, let me go ahead and ball that ass up a little bit.
Remind you that
and now we can communicate. Because really, the embarrassment comes from, and I guess that made me think of that shit you said earlier, like, what is an adult and generation what an adult looks like? Because none of this happens if the boy doesn't go on live. Whatever else, y'all will never know the L's that I took because them shits happened in my room as a regular from always. And nobody knows that but me and like my mom and my dad, and that's it. But because you never would have caught the way that man could have just fucking stuffed me in a fucking shoebox. And you think I was have been on live talking about
why you think you can play with me like that?
Like I would have like it fucking crazy. So I don't know, man. It's a complex thing, but I just
it's a complex, all right.
Yeah,
it's a complex. It's not complex. It is a complex.
The Napoleon. the Napoleon movie has dropped. It's been in theaters this weekend, starring the Joaquin Phoenix
playing a tyrant,
and his. I noticed that there was a Tubi version with King Harris. He had to let them know that he's standing on the business. He take both feet and he put them firmly on top of the business.
10 toes down.
10, 1, 2, 3, from pinky toe to big toe. He rolls them. He rolls out to in and then stand on the business.
Grips the ground and stands firmly on business, and he is still only 5'2".
Yes. Yes.
But that just hearing it, I didn't have to see it, but the part that I heard is like, oh, your daddy balled you up.
Yeah, it was nuts. Because you're not going to talk to me in full sentences as I'm scuffling this like...
You're in a press box arguing with me because
it was like, I don't... Whatever you said, this ain't what you want or you ain't got nothing.
No, he said you ain't got nothing for me.
You ain't got nothing. You're not going to formulate a full fucking phrase and keep my well-being in your back of your mind as I'm trying my damnedest to fuck you up. Boy was fighting for his motherfucking life.
And losing. In a penthouse trying to tell people how street I am. Why you think he could play with me like that? Boy, I birthed you.
Shit.
But I do understand your point of like he's been enabled to be that way his entire life. And I can remember just from aspects on the TV show, like you being just like your daddy. He the one with the slick mouth. He the one whose attitude to get there. He the one that's supposed to be the playboy and getting on girls even at a young age and thinking he could do this and thinking like they allowed the arrogance of that persona to grow because it helped, one, with ratings, but two, we famous and he just like his daddy a little bit. So it's going to go unchecked to a degree. And now you have this delusional monster that's willing to bite the hand that created it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Shout out to them though.
It's silliness.
I might keep some of these.
As you should.
God damn, like, all right, what's a fucking, oof.
Heavy hitters.
A few, okay, this is a mental healthy one. How to curtail baby elephant syndrome. For those who don't know, baby elephant syndrome is the syndrome occurs when we hold on to bad feelings and emotions for so long that they become part of our identity.
Sounds like a number of different things, like generational trauma.
Yeah. A simple, just, knee jerk, like, you take care of therapy, but you also have to be in the headspace to understand that, like, if you're just something as small as, hey, fucked up shit keep happening, and I feel like everybody goes to their little fucked up shit keep happening. It's Daryl fault. Fucked up shit keep happening. It's Rodney fault. Fucked up shit keep happening. It's Ashley fault. Mm-hmm. After you run out of motherfuckers, when you hit that part, because I feel like y'all just got to run through that part, and it's like, all right, I really don't want to talk to me. Then you come talk to like us, and then we'll tell you why it's you, and then you figure that shit the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because other than that, like, and you got to stay off. That comes with time. Some of these answers I feel like are like premature, because part of it is like staying away from things that like reinforce that, but that also requires you to be able to identify them. So it's different. But you got to kind of, I feel like a little bit of this is you kind of got to hit whatever wall that is in your life. You may not have to go through all those people, but whatever thing makes you go, yo, it's shit fucked up out here. You got to have a little bit of an ability to go recognize that at least, and then you work from there.
Yeah. That was kind of along the lines of what I was going to say as far as acceptance. Acceptance is the word that I was going to use. Mm-hmm. Once you can start to accept that you have been through something which has shaped your reality and you adopted that reality as fact, even though it's not, if you can accept that that is a truth that you are battling against, you can start to make change. You're going to have to utilize resources and be intentional about making that change, like going to therapy is utilizing a resource intentionally. But you got to get to a point where you accept that that's what it is. And a lot of us, that's difficult because that means you got to challenge your whole identity. Mm-hmm. I've used the example on the show a few times of like a lot of black culture isn't really black culture. It's a trauma response. It's a coping mechanism.
Oh, yeah. Our whole fucking identity is soul food.
Soul food is not.
I feel like I covered that before.
Yeah, we've covered that before, but like it's like, oh, if you can accept the fact, like, oh, these are the scraps. These are the things that we turned into food because we weren't allowed to eat shit else. But also, I don't have to continue eating that just because said culture. Like, I can eat other things. I can make things a different way or a healthier way. You can start to progress from that. Kind of like, say, the early 2000s when, like, say, the old schools was, no, you use fucking neck bones in your greens. And we're like, no, we're not eating pork no more. We need to switch to smoked turkey because it's healthier. And hypertension, like, that was a real argument within our community as far as not using pork for these things the way that we used to. And it's like, no, we use that because that was scraps. We don't have to use scrap foods no more. We can use different variations of this shit to help make it a little bit better than what it was before. We don't have to keep killing ourselves slowly, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But we were able to make those changes even as a culture because we accepted the fact that, oh, this is the reality of where this came from, and we don't have to hold on to that anymore.
That's a bar. Let's do two more.
Boy, gave it up. Drank the whole bottle of yak. Now he yakking.
How to support friends who consistently feel like
Don't.
they're a bother?
Don't.
They're
a burden. Get rid of them.
Yeah. How to support friends who consistently feel like they're a bother?
They are battling a distortion that you can't win.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to say not to support them, but we've said it before, like meeting them where they are. I realize that they are going to continuously tell themselves that they are a burden to anybody trying to help them. I have to figure out ways to, one, get them to understand that they're not a burden to me. Mm-hmm. I can't help you understand how you're not a burden to everyone else, but I can help you understand how you're not a burden to me. And I can also help you get to a certain point of accepting, like, I'm here strictly to support you and help you because I care for you. There's no reason for me to do this. I'm not doing this because I'm obligated to take care of your sorry ass and you're just not this, that, and the other. But like, no, I love you. I care about you. You're my friend. This is what friends do. Or you're my family. This is what family does, X, Y, and Z. I'm doing this because I love and care for you. That's why I'm willing to assist you. You're not a burden you're loved. And if I can get you to understand that, at least for me, we can work on the distortion. Otherwise, slapping them Jones.
He was
with the leopard
good
print
job.
draws.
But yeah, I agree. You really can't do much except like, create a safe space like for them, do the best that you can to be like, look, man, you're not a bother to me. I've heard people like say that like in my personal life. I just try to not, I don't dump on them. I try to, and even in those moments, like if you're the friend who can give a little pushback, if you're feeling like you're a bother, we can this might sound like the therapy friend though. Like, we can kind of get into a little bit of like some armchair therapy, like why you feel like that. And if I can kind of get you to maybe curb a little bit of those goofy behaviors you got, then, we could make it safe here. But then other than that, I'm big on directing, like, if this is really deep, you might need to, work this through with somebody. Because, like, it's fixable. But, you can have a safe space over here. You're not that here. And then other spots, I can only do what I can do.
Right.
I'm really big on something. That's my own personal homework. I ain't this plate full than a bitch. All right, to max capacity.
I mean, you might get to a point where you be a little bit of a dick, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
I don't want to be a burden to you. Okay, so should I just not help you?
Well, yeah.
Should I just not be here for you? Should I not support you? Like, should I just let you sit here and suffer by yourself? Because that's what you sounding like right now.
I mean, you can get a little spicy if they are of the your friend.
Yeah,
so
if they can handle that.
Yeah,
everybody may not be able to handle it, but sometimes that's like the reality check, like what I shared earlier of like identifying the truth and the reality. The truth and reality is if I stop doing what I'm doing for you and act as if you're not my friend or my family or that I care for you and I stop supporting you, I stop helping you, I stop doing X, Y, and Z. If I stop doing these things because I'm going to step into your distortion with you and believe that you're a burden, then what?
Yeah.
What happens? You're going to sit here by yourself and continue sulking. So if I reinforce this distortion that your mind is telling you, you're going to continue to sit here and be by yourself, and then you're going to believe it even more because I've abandoned you. So that's stupid. So shut your ass up and take the help. Now, what do you need from me? And what is within my capacity, and how can we figure out the rest?
Bars. Lastly, best sexed you've ever received. Pull up. I'm coming over. I don't need all that extra shit. Like, I'm not like, we can, but like the words and shit, we gonna have to get naked too. Like, or pull up or whatever. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, or we could just talk about it, but like you said, like the manuscript sexual shit, I'm bricked. So like we could whatever the next, you know what I'm saying, like whatever that look like.
Heavy, real heavy.
Yeah, like
so
I'm
heavy.
I'm on the way, or one of those is sexy than a motherfucker to me.
I've had moments where I've definitely been in distanced situations.
Mm-hmm.
Because say whether when I went away to college, I'm in Ohio and I may know people that's out here in LA. Clearly, I ain't gonna see you until some sort of vacation or whatever comes. So yeah, that pull up ain't gonna work.
Okay, in that scenario,
that's not gonna work for me. But yeah, if we on the same campus and it's like, hey, slide through, absolutely. And sometimes you don't even have to say nothing because the sex don't have to be words. Somebody could be at their spot and you at your spot, and they just send you a pussy pic, and send you a picture of some booty hole.
If I'm not gonna never turn down any like nudes. I appreciate that, but if we like are far, I got a lot of stuff. Like I got an iPad, I got an iPhone, I got a laptop. I just like be a porno, like just like, and I'm a real easy dirtbag. Just walk around, like just prop this motherfucker up. You could talk to me about your day. Just do it naked. That's a good sex to me.
Nakedness.
It's too much activity for me to just be like, I'll read the text and I'll be like, I'm here for it. If words is your shit, I'll participate. But if I had to choose, yeah, like just let me see you naked. Cause you far away. And then, yeah, like it was, I saw a fucking meme this week. It was like, in a world full of porn, that nigga want to see you naked. Like, yeah. I didn't tell you to get fucking. You did all that dress up shit and lighting for you. I just said, cut the fucking kitchen light on and make that smoothie you was gonna make. Just make it with no fucking drawers on. I'm very simple. I'm tired. I'm like, I want to punch my boss tomorrow. Whatever. Like, this gonna help me. This gonna help. This gonna save my motherfucking week. Save the world.
It's super sexy.
Yeah, you know what the fuck
you at the gym. You just finished working out and you showering and you decide to stand there and take a little sexy pic for me at the gym.
You want the nut video with the sound on? Give me a call. Hit me a call right now. Right in your fucking ear. Yeah, cut them AirPods on loud. Right now. Yeah. Like it's, yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah.
It's not like you're doing anything.
It ain't.
You ain't got nowhere to go.
FaceTime and all this dumb shit. And yeah, right now.
Yeah, that's my vote. The best sex, although like physical words and whatnot can be arousing in some capacity, the best sex is just getting some visuals.
Yep.
Because if you send me words and you ain't really did the words to me before, or there's no guarantee that you would do the words, then it's cool to hear them and nice to know that you would do it. But I don't have nothing to refer back to that with. I can use my imagination, but you ain't made my imagination a reality. But what is a reality is but nakedness.
And that's another. Y'all is taking fucking ladders to put this fucking phone to the ceiling. When you could have just
to shake ass for Instagram.
Ma'am, if you don't crack that motherfucker open on this so I can go ahead and just, make sure I maintain my fucking sanity in this. Like, come on, man. Like, so yeah, do that. Like, and all them cause all the angles and shit, that ain't fucking for me. Like I said, you can keep you could roll out of bed. Just take whatever you had on off and we going from there.
Some of them angles is nice though. I do like creativity.
I'm not opposed to it, but I'm saying if you feel like you got to have that pressure up on you, it's not there.
No, yeah, it don't have to be perfect.
Yeah. I'm never gonna be opposed to it, but if you just roll out and be like, they out, and it's like, fuck yeah, thank you for thinking of me. Right. What the fuck?
It doesn't have to be sexual. It's the fact that, you know what, I thought about you, my titties was out. I just figured you'd want to see them.
I just feel like y'all have.
What are you doing for today?
You know how good? Try it. If you and him are have a conversation, but do it naked. And just see what happened. Like, you up here, I know he would have. Like, nah, talk to that nigga, be naked, give him the space, and then y'all gonna keep. I bet you motherfuckers keep talking. If you don't keep talking to you, then stop talking to him. Look at me fucking helping y'all. I gave y'all some fucking shit.
You ain't gotta be perfect, just be present.
I already talked about y'all about having like regular sexual just appetites and interactions. It don't have to be a fucking show every time. It's not mean I don't like the shows, but it's like, I don't have to do that. Anyways, thanks for listening, though.
Shake your ass to this.
Casually. I bet you.
A lot of y'all are at home dancing naked in your house to songs anyway. Why not just send it to somebody that would like to see it?
He don't want to talk on the phone and talk about my extra regular date. Do it naked. Y'all cool like that. Just do it naked. See what happens. Make it a rule. Have him do it naked. You don't want to hear like, yeah, nigga. I'll talk to you about fucking Resident Evil with my fucking balls out. Of course. Yeah. The fuck? We're bonding now, nigga.
You got a zombie apocalypse for your ass.
Yeah. What is this? Yeah, this is I'm 100. This nigga naked, I'm naked, let's talk about it. Zombies. Y'all think I'm like, y'all be having that naked pillow talk that they be having in the movies? I'm trying to help y'all do that shit in a different type of scenario, because y'all can't do it all the time because y'all don't stay together, whatever. Y'all gonna give us credit one day. Anyways. Later.
That's your proper out for the week?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I gave y'all all I had today.
He gave you what he got. That's what's it. We shall see y'all next episode. It's holiday season. Hey, enjoy yourself. Hopefully y'all had a good colonizers holiday this past week. White Jesus' cousin holiday is coming up soon. The gift that keeps on giving. All that stuff is coming up. That means a lot of y'all gonna have a lot of time off from work, so enjoy your self-care and your family time, but also don't neglect your family over here. Care about yourself to come edify your brain with some tantalizing conversation and funky beats. So join us again on the next episode. See y'all later. Bye.